life like a clutch time free throw. Look easy to get steps to the line and see the people. Small vision, you a people. I'm full screen on Vivo. We all lost, no Nemo. More bass for the speaker, hit the keynote. Not the best angle, don't you gamble, no keynote. With Mayday dream to my mind, you can go throw away. But please stay close to the ground where you're cruising. Can't lose your will, at least not today. Just a peon from eons away, and that weight can be great. Plus they tell us that we cannot escape. We cannot escape? We cannot escape. I reject that fate, just the underground.
Yo, welcome to episode 1 of That Is Dope podcast. That track you just heard was Couple of Days from Real the Poet featuring DeBron Thomas. You can check out his music on SoundCloud at r.e.a.l, the THA Poet. With no further ado, let's get into episode 1 of Dad Is Dope.
They just talking like they lived it all. Always said I want the sunshine. Right now I'm sipping dog, so I shrugged it off. Acrobatics is average. Tumble-wide aerial. 12 feet above the place I made for your burial. Metaphorically speaking, shooting if you reach.
Yo, so today we got our very first guest here at That Is Dope, Marcus Wilkerson, creator and owner of Jun Bug Honey Antibiotic Soda. Very excited to chop it up with him today for your listening pleasure.
Probiotic soda.
Probiotic, he got it right. What up, Marcus? How you doing, man?
What's good? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm just happy to have you here, man. Finally meet you in person, man.
Happy to be here, man.
Thank you for coming through, brother.
Oh, man, it's always great to walk into the door and see a smiling face, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. First guest here today, man. We're hoping we kick it off just right, man. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself if you don't mind, man.
Yeah. My name is Marcus Wilkerson, the brewer and owner of Jun Bug LLC. I've got 2 kids, one Acacia, 12, Odin, 2. Yeah, man. Me and my partner, Paige Hankler, we're just doing our best to move forward, with our businesses and taking care of family first.
Notice how you said businesses.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Yeah, man. So let's go ahead and kick it off with. I love Odin's name, by the way. It's awesome
man.
name.
Thank you.
Awesome name, man. We're planning on. We were talking about it before. We've got a little girl on the way, man. Mm-hmm. Her name's Ava Harper.
Oh wow.
And we're all about meaning behind names. I'm sure when you named Odin, there was definitely some meaning behind.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because there was a little bit of resistance, for me to name him Odin. His name was so powerful. As soon as he was born, I was like, no doubt in my mind that is an Odin.
Yeah, that's a beautiful name, man.
Yeah, his middle name is Zen, so that's what we wanted to balance it out.
Yeah, we're all about Zen, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of that bridge between his first and his last name.
Definitely beautiful, man.
Yes,
beautiful.
Sir.
So let's go ahead and kick it off about your business first and foremost, man. Where did you get the idea for Jun Bug?
The inception of Jun Bug, I feel like has always been inside of me. Well, at least since before my daughter was born. This is kind of like an eye-rolling moment for a lot of my classmates at Sullivan in culinary arts school. But that my thing was that I wanted to specialize in creating foods with a higher purpose. Okay. Foods that left behind something substantial, something rejuvenative, something sustaining.
Definitely.
Something that you could always run to in your moment of need, not to be cliche, but when in the morning when you're feeling really run down, when you're mentally tired, what's the best thing to consume, on an empty stomach? What's the best thing to do, upon waking up? What makes you wake up in the morning?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like a double whammy for me, because this is one of the things that helps me wake up in the morning, knowing that I'm doing that for people.
Yeah, for sure, man. So. For sure, yeah. I've been trying to start more of a routine, man, in my mornings, because for so long it's just been coffee and rush every morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. So it definitely changes your whole day. When there's a meaning behind whatever you're putting into your body.
Absolutely, and nothing against the coffee. But I love the coffee.
Yeah.
But it like beats up your adrenal glands, man, and sends you in a whirlwind of like worry and if you don't know how to harness it and you do too much of it.
That cold sweat too. Like if you've got too much of it in your body, the way that caffeine will make you feel, man, it's crazy how it is.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear that somebody out there that is actually providing substance to a community, you know, because so many different companies that are producing this food and drinks, man, they don't care about what the consumer feels after they consume it. All they care about is that the consumer continues to consume, man. So it's a beautiful thing that somebody is, you know, providing a product that actually thinks ahead of time, you know, thinks, how is this going to affect somebody's day? How is this going to make them feel? You know what I mean? There's something beautiful about that.
Well, yeah,
man.
I mean, you see the customer, you see the person coming, face to face, and you want to be as honest and forthright with them about what you represent, who you are. It's almost kind of like making a new friend. So if there's anything I can give someone, like in a split second, and if I'm never going to see you again, let me give you something that you can excel or that you can benefit from. Right. You know what I mean?
Hey,
like,
awesome,
and hey, if it happens to be that you attribute some of your success to my work or having seen me, then shoot, that couple seconds was worth it.
That's
you
beautiful,
know what I mean?
man.
Couple
I
minutes.
like that, brother.
Right on, brother.
Hey, Connie, I got a question for you. Do you mind to grab the charger for the laptop? I totally forgot to get it. Thank you. See, this is episode 1 for you right there.
Hey, man. We're human beings. This is what the beautiful thing is. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, totally, man.
Community and tapping into that humanistic quality.
Yeah, man. That's a part of why I'm wanting to do this and kind of the meaning behind the podcast. It's funny you said that, kind of explaining what your meaning was behind Jun Bug, because the whole thing about the podcast is I found out, man, I was neck deep in my circumstances. I'm about to be a dad, and I'm looking for these resources out here, and the majority of the ones that I was finding did not pertain to me at all, man. So I just kind of wanted to come up with something that could speak to young fathers and give young fathers a place to go and kind of learn, especially people that don't want to give up their dreams yet, man. Because that was one of the big things. It was like everybody I was going to was like, "Oh, your life is over."
Oh, it's not about you. Yeah. Don't you love that one? It's not about you anymore. It's about those little ones. Yeah, well, you know what? If daddy ain't happy, the kids ain't happy. Your partner's not happy.
Unbalanced.
Absolutely.
I believe that there's balance in everything.
I agree, man.
And going into it, I was like, man, if I've got to give up my dreams, how can I inspire my children to live out theirs if I'm not living my own? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So, you have to struggle.
Definitely.
You have to struggle. I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah. If you don't have a story to give to someone, you have nothing to give.
Right. You're right about that, man. Yeah. So with talking about the struggle, man, how long was it before you were able to make Jun Bug go from a dream to a reality, man?
Well, I have to say, I feel incredibly fortunate. My stepfather and I, we were actually going to go in business together, and something there fell through. It was something, and I insisted. I was like, you need to take care of your thing. So let's just sit back. I'm gonna keep on trying to plug and do what I can. Fortunately, within a year's time, I got a gentleman, a person who wanted to be a silent investor, who cared enough about me and my family to do that. And so I had enough to start things.
Awesome.
I even had a friend, even early on, that took the time to write a list for me. All the things that we got together prior, and we just talked about all the things that I could need. And this is all really based on your standard startup for a beer or what do you call it, microbrewery project. And some of those things weren't used, but most of those things were. And so, man, shout out to Andrew Brunson, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, man.
That's the thing about dreams, man, is like you can't accomplish everything by yourself, man. Yeah. And there's a beauty in people that are willing to hop in and help, man.
Absolutely,
you know what
man.
I mean? And I don't know, man. Every dream that I've had along the way, man, there's always been somebody else that's kind of been there alongside for it. And they don't know, they're not always there in the beginning. They're not always there in the end, man. But a lot of times, man, we got to have building blocks and cornerstones that make a dream come true, man. So it's beautiful that somebody was able to hop in and help you out.
Absolutely, man. There's always, and then the farther along you get, you attribute a lot of your work to yourself, but even still, you know what I mean? You still have to come back.
Yeah, man.
Pay homage to the people that helped you, from birth, to before you had kids to
Right.
after, while you were struggling, trying to, you know, get used to the concept.
Yeah, man.
Getting used to the concept of being a father.
Right.
You know, and having, you know, some semblance of upward, you know, mobility. You
Yeah,
know?
man. That's the beautiful thing about you. We were talking about Zen in the beginning, man. Like, I've been studying a lot of Zen and into Buddhism and whatnot, and just realizing that, like, everything is interconnected and everything is, like, we have this whole thing of, like, self and just thinking self, you know, and realizing that self is all kind of muddled together. This is this concept that we have in our brain, you know. It's not really just us. You know, everything that we're doing, maybe our self is messed up in the head, or maybe we're angry that day, but we have to realize that it's making a large impact on everybody around us as well, man. So for the greater good, you know, and accepting that it's not just us.
The ego
So-
has to die.
Yeah, man, ego death. You know,
Ego
and that's
death,
that's something that Connie and I have looked into for years, man. But you know, it's there.
Yes.
It's very real, man.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And the people that I know that have experienced it are much more pleasurable to be around than the people that have not, man.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because when your self is first, and it leaves room for somebody to hop in and say, you know what, your dream seems like something I want to get behind. You know what I mean? Somebody that's totally egomaniac, all about themselves, man, it's very difficult to hop behind somebody else and kind of push their idea. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful that you've been able to find people in your life, man, that are willing to support you and
Absolutely,
push your
man.
dream, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, well, I appreciate you.
yeah,
You know what I
definitely,
mean?
man. I'm happy to have
You're,
you here.
you're,
I'll
you're
tell
that
you
cog
man.
in the big
Yeah,
machine, my man.
Yeah, definitely,
you know?
man. So I want to ask you this. This is more of a personal question,
Sure.
just for my own knowledge, man. I want to know how has running the business impacted your family life, man? Has it been I'm sure more positive than negative, but how has it been an impact on your family?
You know, the impact has largely been super positive. I mean, obviously, you know, when you get some way to define yourself, for your family, define what, you know, your vision of happiness and prosperity is, you know, for yourself. You know, there are some things that come that come with that. There's some struggles, you know, obviously that come with that. It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
You know, once upon a time, you know, Paige used to refer to me as a hustler because I was out there just kind of pushing my music enrichment programs,
Right.
Doing whatever kind of, you know, work that needed to be done. At the same time, I was still fueling my passions. I was always trying to figure out a way to make everything efficient and make everything work.
Yeah.
Didn't always work the best way. Didn't
Right.
always work the way I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have to work. Yeah, you have
It
to
never
wait
does,
you have to wait for money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's the
the
crazy
state-funded
thing, man.
stuff, you know,
Oh,
and
Lord, man.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, man.
And so yeah, you know, I don't know what she called me now, but crazy, probably. But you know, it's been I've been really fortunate to have someone like Paige that understands the learning curve. You know what I mean?
Man.
You know, she supports me 100% now. You know, so
And that's
when we have
invaluable,
those,
man.
oh yeah,
You can't put a price on that.
well, yeah, and you can't always predict when someone's gonna, you know, offer a conversation or offer time to hold space with you either.
Right.
And you have to be open to that. It always, sometimes it just kind of hits you like, oh, what we have to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
Or when you want to talk about things, it's not always, you know, that the conversation doesn't always go the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
The important thing is that you have the conversation,
Exactly,
right? And that you're communicating, and that at some point you understand. You get a chance to sit there and let it all digest.
Right.
So
So what I'm hearing is the pivotal part here, man, is having that relationship, having that communication, man. And that's something that I'm a firm believer in, man. It's crazy. I just got to do a wedding yesterday. I officiated a
You
wedding.
officiated a wedding?
Yeah, I do a couple.
that's
I've
cool.
done a couple, believe it or not. I don't look the type, but it's
I've
fun, man. I've done it for some friends and whatnot.
Who really
And-
looks the type?
Right. I'm not old yet, but I am white.
Right,
so,
I guess that's cool. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, my wife, man, that's what I tell everybody is like, the number one thing is in any dream or anything that you're going to do, man, if you've got a partner, make sure that they are on the same page, man, because if you think you're going to do it without them being involved in some degree, whether it be through communication, whether it be through just being there and letting you kind of decompress at the end of the day, man, you're going to need it, you know? And that's my advice to every couple, man, is like, make sure if you're getting into this, make sure that you've already kind of worked that kink out. Because, man, we've got some people in our lives, man, that it's like they don't communicate. And I tell them, like, that's key, man. All of human relation, it revolves around communication, man. If you're not communicating, you're not living. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful, man, to always have somebody that comes in and tells me, like, I'm doing this dream, and then when they're talking about their dream, they can't help but mention their partner. You know what I mean? Because it's a joint effort, man. It's beautiful. So I'll ask this, even though I've probably got a good idea of what your answer is going to be, man. What do you do on a day-to-day basis to remain kind of centered and grounded and not going to and fro and getting swept away with the wind, man? How do you stay firm in what it is that you believe in and just stay, you know, calm, cool, and collected? How does Marcus do that on a day-to-day basis?
Calm, cool, collected.
Usa.
When I'm at my best, we'll say that, you know, Qigong, which is what they call, you know, Chinese Taoist yoga.
Okay.
Yoga. your you know, the yoga that we know that comes from, you know, Indus Kush, you know, India. You know, that practice, meditation, you know, those kind of practices really help me. But yet again, you know, more communication, because sometimes, you know, things can get really overwhelming, you know, really fast. And if you don't, if you're not communicating with yourself is another really good thing.
Looking
looking in the mirror, right? Like the Sufaic, Sufis, Muslims would do. You know, they have a candle in the mirror, and you just stare, you know, for as long as you need to in order to kind of check in with yourself, you know, consider like a list. Write down the list of priorities for the day. That's kind of been key for me.
Okay, so let me ask you this, kind of branch on that.
Sure.
You were talking about meditation. How long has that been a part of your life, man? Is it more of a recent thing, or
Since
have you
college,
been doing it for years?
Since college.
Okay.
And in February 22nd, 2017, I turned 40. So that was milestone. That was 25 years ago. I graduated high school.
Yeah, you don't even
I
like
actually
say
said
that
that
out loud.
who cares?
Right.
The 40 is the new 30, as people used to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always had a great deal of youth in my stride, so I don't even feel 40. If that's
that's a good thing.
But let me not digress. The meditation can manifest in many different ways if you're doing some kind of flow movement, you know.
Right.
Meditation for me, and you know what? Before I was actually sitting down there actively meditating, telling people, oh, I am meditating, or I am doing yoga. I have been doing yoga. You know, ran. Yeah. And running has always been therapeutic. You know, even when I'm not so motivated to devote 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour of yoga time, you know, it's easy for me to stretch sometimes and just kind of get out there and you know, hit the pavement and jog. And it makes me feel so much better, so much more like myself. Like I'm breathing. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know how certain things, they kind of catch off guard and you're breathing shallow. Yeah. Man. And then all of a sudden, you know, you're not controlling your mind and all is controlling you. Yeah. And you're on autopilot and all your fears.
There's been times in my life, Marcus, where I've lived years like that. Yeah. Where I've kind of been in autopilot and snap out of it maybe after 6 months or a year and just say, man, where is this time gone?
They call that lizard brain.
Yeah, man. I've been there. You know, I've been there. Man.
Yeah, you know,
there's a beautiful thing, man, about getting grounded, being centered, man. I've been doing meditation now, not very long. I've only been into it, I would say, For about 6 months, on and off, but now I'm getting really serious about it because I'm beginning to see the effects that it has on my life, man, and just getting me grounded and centered, and how important that is to everything. You know, my job, you know, and what I do is high stress, you know, and then with the kid coming on, you know, and everything that's kind of on the horizon, it's been really important to me to make sure that I'm being my best self, you know, and the number one thing about that is knowing who I was at the end of the day, because there was times that I would wake up in the morning and question, you know, who I was and what it was that I was here to do, you know what I mean? And I was running to weed, man. I was smoking weed probably 6-7 times a day, man, just trying to escape it, you know what I mean?
Escapism.
And self-medicating, man. And, you know,
a gentleman by the name of do you know who is it Bill Goggins? Goggins, Iron Man.
Okay.
Goggins.
Yeah.
He does a lot of motivational speaking.
Okay.
Dude cusses like a sailor, but he was a Navy SEAL. I mean,
right.
He was man, but he said something, man, that really grabbed me. And I had a conversation with a gentleman a couple of days ago, actually, an ecstatic poet, Brandon Thompson. He actually had a poem, an ecstatic poet poem about that kind of thing, and it kind of went along the lines of, like, you know, the Sufis, you know, looking in the mirror. You know, we're big fans of Rumi and Hafiz.
Right.
The two parallel really, really well, and it wasn't that long ago that I had seen him say this, but he's basically saying, you know, if you're at all doubtful about anything, any part of your life, that is the very thing that we as human beings tend to run away from, right? So what you need to do is, you know, you're saying all these things, you know, you have this inner mantra that you may have had informed upon you earlier on in life, you know, and you keep repeating these things. First of all, you know, that needs to reverse, right? You need to, in order to, you know, to get what you aspire, you know, to get or be in a place where you aspire to be,
right,
you have to kind of change your mantra, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So instead of running away from those issues, those inadequacies, as some like to put it, you run to them.
Yeah, man.
Head on.
Yeah.
You suffer through them.
Yeah.
You admit to yourself, you know, well, I'm not very good at this, or, you know what, this here has been my struggle for years and years and years, man, and it's really time for me to stop running away from it. I mean, you know, to sit here and tell you that I've done that and I am already there, I would be lying to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I am still in the process of that. I feel really, really fortunate to, you know, have the opportunities that I've had and to be able to see, you know, some light at the end of the tunnel, because, you know, things weren't always so great.
Right, man.
You know what I mean?
Me. Yeah.
I remember when I was just starting out as a new father, before, you know, while Keisha was a baby. It was the craziest time, you know, for me, you know, and it took many changes, you know, many people that, you know, talk to, you know, both negatively and positively, so I can see myself,
right,
to understand what I really needed to do. You know what I mean? I needed to take some time to really understand what it was that I was here to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's, man, I think that's the beauty that I've found in meditation, is because you're sitting there with just you for that period of time. And like the type that I've been studying has been more Zen dominant. So it's attempting to just totally clear your mind of everything. The thought of no thought, you know, and you're literally, you're looking into a mirror by not thinking of anything. You know what I mean? Because you're forced to kind of face everything that you've been running from, you know, and you may squirm for that full 30 minutes. You may just want to sit up and stand up and walk away, but then you realize that that's the very thing that you've been running from, you know, is sitting there with yourself. And the beauty of just working out all your own kinks and whatnot is just, there's something beautiful about it, because there's people that live and die without ever really looking at themselves, without ever really knowing themselves, you know. And
Iron Man Goggins?
Right.
Are you what?
yeah, and that's really what I'm getting on, you know, is like I want to know my true self, even if it's scary, even if I don't like what I see, because the second that I do know my true self, I can change.
It's time to begin. It's time to begin at that point.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I
then
mean?
Go forward.
Isn't that an interesting concept, though?
Yeah,
that you've not really truly begun until you see yourself for who you really are.
Yeah, man. And then when you look at yourself in that way, you remove the fear. At that point, when you're willing to face whatever it is, even if it's bad, even if you hate it, you remove the fear away from it, because the second that you're facing it, then you're one step away from fixing it. You know, you can't fix it unless you look at it. You know, I can't repair something unless I have my hands on it. And so many times we just work in the physical. We never work in the mental. We never work in the spiritual. We avoid that because in America, we just get caught up in this day-to-day grind, you know what I mean? And I reject that idea, man. I think that in order to really be fulfilled on a day-to-day basis, man, we have to know who we are. And there's something beautiful about stopping and learning yourself, you know?
We're not going to get that from television.
Yeah, you're not going to get it from TV. Yeah, man.
And apparently, as we've learned, we're definitely not going to get it from the media.
No. So. The media, man, today the media is... it's crazy, man, because we live in the age of the internet, so it's clickbait. It's whether it's true or not. It's whatever's going to get somebody that clicks it, because they're literally getting paid by getting viewership. And never in the world has that been the case. I mean, before, if you walked into a store, yeah, they walked in, but if they didn't buy anything, you know, if they didn't like your product when they got there, you didn't make any money. But now today we live in a world where you don't have to purchase anything. When you go onto these media sites, man, literally the click itself is the asset. The click itself is the commodity. And they're doing whatever they can to bring that in hordes. And regretfully, it's working, man. And people are just not looking up from that screen anymore. And in lizard brain,
which is why I'm so grateful, you know, for this local economy. Everybody seems to be... To say everybody, that's a little bit not true, right?
Optimistic,
but it's optimistic, but it is growing, right? The local economy is growing, and it's forcing communities to kind of like come together, or at least come together physically.
And that's the thing, man. Is like my friends and I, we have a friend named Alicia, and she's kind of all about community. That's like one of her number one things, and she just longs for the time where it was a village, you know, and like everybody in the town kind of knew one another to a degree, you know, and supported, and everybody had something to offer, and what they offered was a trade-off for someone else's. And I feel like we've gotten so far away from that in today's world, you know.
Everybody wants to be that top dog.
It's commercialism, and it's what's our form of trade here in America? I'm having a brain fart right now.
Are we talking about capitalism?
Capitalism. And you know, it's just so crazy, because really what it is it's just stepping on top of one another to try to get to the top, and the whole crab in the bucket mentality. You know, and that's
from the highs to the lows. You know, from the people who are upper class, upper middle class, to you know, as we call lower class.
Right.
Something that strikes something odd in me when I say lower class.
Yeah,
anyway,
classism
it's hard
itself.
for me to even say that.
Yeah, man. But it does. It contributes itself to it infects every aspect of our community. You know, everywhere from the music, where when you have a venue, if someone's not on the bill, a lot of times they won't come out. You know, and seeing some of the venues, like sometimes you'll have a big name that comes in and you'll have a big crowd, but a lot of times, man, these excellent shows with like people that I had, like Russell there playing at the beginning. You know, him and DeBron Thomas on that song. Yeah, man. Fantastic song, fantastic album overall. You know, but I've been to multiple shows where he had maybe 15 people in the crowd, you know, and he's all about it. Trust me, he gives his all, whether there's 5 or 50, you know. But just to see that we have so much local talent in town, and that we have so many like products like yours that people don't even know about. And I think it's more so because they're so plugged into whatever's being fed to them rather than going out and looking for themselves, you know. Because I think our community is rapidly changing. I think Lexington is becoming a hub for this sort of thing, this homegrown grassroots type movement. I think,
sure hope so.
Yeah, Lexington definitely lends itself to that. You know, we have a lot of different type of people here, and our downtown is like this centralized area where it feels like everybody's welcome to a degree. You know, like anybody can go down there and do their thing. And I think that if anybody's willing to put the work behind it, there's going to come a day where this place is going to be fertile ground. And it's people like you that are making it that, Marcus. You know, people that are willing to go out and put in the hard work, man, because really somebody's got to till the ground. And somebody's got to make these startups and inspire others to say, look, man, like, how many stores did you say you were in? 69? Was that the number?
Yeah, the last I looked, I believe, is between 60 and 70.
See,
so
that's inspiring, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about how you took something that had been in you, and then around a year you made it and materialized it. You know what I mean? And now here you are. How long has Jun Bug been in existence?
In October, it will be 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So in 2 years, this man took his product from a dream, you know, and then made it to where it's available to masses. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful thing, man.
With a lot of effort and support from other
Hard
people
work.
around me.
Yeah, man.
No, yeah. I mean, it was a lot of work. Of course, I was enjoying myself, you know,
right,
while doing it, and you know, shout out to everybody. You know who you are, who's done, you know, who's been out to support me, even if it was just to come out and smile at me, and say, hey, great job, thank you all so much. I could not have gotten to where I am right now.
Yeah, that was
you.
the beautiful thing yesterday about the post that I put up and kind of like beginning to market this episode when it was going to come out. Because I mean, I'm a grassroots thing, you know, that what I'm putting my money behind it. I'm putting my hard work behind it. But at the end of the day, this is day one. You're here for day one. You know what I mean? So we're getting started. But with that being said, man, just seeing how many people that just knew you, the strangers that I had on my post, that I have no idea who these guys are, but they're on here, they're rooting for you, man. You know, and there's something beautiful about people being out there that are in your corner, man. And I can see why. I can see why. You've got a magnetic type personality, man. I can see why people would be drawn to you and want to push for you, man. So I'm happy to have you here, man. So
thank you.
Let's hop back into
the pound.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's a pound moment. So let's get back into a couple of these questions, man. I want to ask you just for a little bit of advice, because at the end of the day, Dad is dope. You know what I mean? So I want to get back to kind of the fatherhood aspect of your life, man. We're talking kind of deep metaphysical stuff, man. So let's get into a little bit of advice, man. Okay. If you had to give one piece of advice to somebody that's maybe a new parent, you know, or they've got a kid on the way, what would that piece of advice be? You know, from one father to the next, what's your advice, man?
Life is gonna hit you, whether it gently or hard. You have to have a reaction for it, right? Or at least you have to respond to it, or not. But even not responding to it is a response, right? So the important thing that we have to do, and it's hard sometimes, but it is to breathe. You know, sometimes you find yourself breathing really shallow, and I know this sounds like, I mean, this guy's talking about, you know, but breathing, right? You know, is one of the first steps to making good sound decisions. We have to send oxygen to our brain. Yeah. So let's breathe, right? Listen, right? Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, some of these things, you know, I've got a crazy sense of humor. Okay, some would say it's a little dark sometimes. So, you know, I've got a couple of friends and family members who have fallen, and I have laughed. You know, it's just I'm sorry. You know, I'm so sorry. When I laugh, when I fall, you know, just as long if you laugh at people when they fall, just make sure that you laugh when you fall. Right. Yes. I guess that's essentially what I'm saying, is that, don't take things too personally. Because, I mean, you know, not most of the time, things that happen to you is really not about you. But the way that you respond to it is definitely all about you. I was told when I was young that we are not responsible for how people treat us. We are, however, responsible for how we treat other people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
so, you know.
That's
Listen.
a word right there,
Listen
man.
and
I'm telling
breathe,
you,
my
that
man.
right there, that's pivotal, man. Because I've more times than not in my job is the majority of times that I've gotten myself in trouble, not just in my job, but in my social life with my family, has not been the way they've acted towards me. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people get out of pocket.
Sure.
They'll get sideways with you, and I've learned, man, that like it says more about you, not how they're acting to you. Everybody can stand around and see for themselves kind of what's going down. But more importantly, the way that you react back to them not only impacts the other people that are watching, but it impacts that individual that's coming at you, you know, some type of way. Because a lot of times, man, if I get out of pocket with somebody, and they come back at me just calm, you know, collected, and like, hey, you know, it real quick.
You feel really bad.
It'll bring my levels down real fast, you know, like, oh man, like what am I doing here? You know, why? You know, and like anytime that you force somebody to say, you know, why or why is this what I'm doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I saying it like this? Because a lot of times, man, we just get caught up.
Yeah. This whole demonization of human beings, as though, you know, when we are when a challenge or when a struggle to respond in the most appropriate way, you know, comes to us, is really just one person's way of running away from themselves. You know what I mean? Refusing to see the humanity in someone else.
Yeah.
You know, you said what you said. I mean, it just made me think about, wow, you know, isn't it just that simple to when someone comes to you, you know, in all, you know, realness, like, hey, look, you said this and well, this is my boundary and I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that I'm coming to you as a man or with great respect for you.
Right.
Then you kind of have to acquiesce and say,
level
well,
down. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. Okay, so but after that though, after you've apologized, right? After, you know, you guys, well, at least after you've acknowledged that you've hurt this person,
Right.
you know, and you just give all of yourself to that person. Well, it's up to them to forgive you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After all, I mean, this person came to you as a human being. I mean, the least you can do is give them their humanities, you know, back, right?
Yeah. Sound advice right there, man. I love that conversation. You know what I mean? Because that's something that applies to everybody on a day-to-day basis, man. Is like we're impacting the world around us, whether we realize it or not. We're impacting people's days, man. Every conversation, every word, you know. That's why, like, when we leave out of Kroger, man, I try to be the nicest person to that person bagging my groceries. You know, the lady checking me out, man. I try to make sure that they know.
For them.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you need to.
Well, yes, all right. You know, they won't put the.
Sometimes I gotta hop in there and get in
They want to
man.
put the cantaloupe with the bread.
Yeah,
no.
Man, I had a cat put like deli meat on top of the raw meat, and I was like, no, man, like you can't do that, bro. Like listeria, no.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, man. Okay, so a little piece of advice for new parents, man, and just to kind of sum that up, I'm gonna run it back for you. Is just treat others like you want to be treated, man. You know, along those lines, man. And with having a kid, man, that's something that's really on my shoulders, and what I'm learning slowly but surely, man, is like putting others before myself.
Yeah.
Because with my wife laying there and saying like, hey, like, I don't feel like moving, you know what I mean? Or I need this or I need that. Realizing that part of my life where it was just me is over. You know, it can be about me at times, you know, when things can be about me, but at the end of the day, it'll never just be me again.
When you see your partner, you know, laying there,
right,
and she's struggling,
and
she's pushing, at that very moment, when it breaks you down to tears, because it'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
Sit in that for a minute.
Yeah.
Sit in that for a minute and meditate on that. Right. Remember that.
Yeah.
When you guys are arguing or when you guys are going through, you know, just whatever helps bring you guys to balance. Because that struggle, you know, it is kind of a tug of war, but maybe it's also a arm wrestle. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember when she was there giving birth to you.
And how you felt.
Giving birth to you and how you felt.
Yeah.
And how you feel when you look into your child's eyes.
Right. Man.
Remember that too.
Yeah.
Meditate on these moments.
Yeah.
Man, we've gotta devour them and let them replenish us.
Because you're not getting them again.
We're not.
No,
we're not. But
they're fleeting.
Yeah.
And
so
there's a beauty of being able to stop and take hold of something.
let it change you, man.
Yeah, man. Definitely. Yeah, and I fully intend on doing so.
sure, bro.
So let me ask you, man. Like for somebody that's wanting to start a new business,
Sure.
They've got an idea. They're not quite sure how to make it work. Where they're gonna go with it. It's just a dream. It's just an idea. Do you have any advice to somebody that is maybe wanting to start a business? What would you tell them besides run as fast as you can?
Away.
Because I'm sure you've had those days, right, man?
Oh man, I hear people saying that. Those must be the people who have everything to lose by not doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I have, or let me rephrase that. You have nothing to lose.
Right.
Let me just say that.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose but your ego. You have everything to gain, but you have everything to gain.
Yeah.
Everything. You have your lessons. If you fail, then that is a lesson. Take your failure as a lesson. In success, there are lots of failures, even in your success. Dealing with success.
Right.
You may fail in dealing with success. Because that's going to determine your next step, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's successful or not, or at least whether you wobble or whether you stick it, right? So, by all means, follow your dreams. You know what I mean? Reaffirm the most positive affirmations that have been told to you, and that reaffirm to yourself the best affirmation that you've ever said to yourself in your life. And if you've never said that, that is the time when you question your affirmations.
Right. And
that is when you need to reevaluate your affirmations and continuously affirm those things that matter. Get your priorities straight. The people that matter in your life.
Yeah.
They need to know that you have them straight, and that you see them as a part of it.
Yeah.
All too.
And that's something that you've pushed this whole time, is that it's not just you, and I think that's something really pivotal for anybody out there that maybe is wanting to start a business, to realize you cannot do it by yourself, regardless of what it is, man. You're going to need someone else in your corner, so
I feel a song coming on. That sounds like
surround yourself with those people, man, because the day that you're down, that day where you are ready to kind of let go of that dream and you need affirmation, maybe you're not always able to give it to yourself. There's going to be somebody in your corner, man. And if you've got them there, it's just like a fight. Like my buddy Lane is really into MMA, and he does cornerman for a lot of people. And that's the thing, man. You get beat up in life. Sometimes life throws some punches at you that you're just not expecting, that'll bloody you up, man. And you get back to your corner, you get back to your center place in your home quarters. You know what I mean? It's good to have people in your corner there to patch you up, to push you back out into the world and say, you can do this.
And some, there are people who seem to be able to keep a whole bunch of friends around them without feeling any sense of paranoia. But sometimes you may experience that, in your life, and I guess you're very fortunate when you have even a handful of people, maybe 5 people that in your most paranoid mode will still will make allowances for you when you fall out of pocket due to paranoia. Yeah, totally. I can only, I'll just go ahead and lay it out here. I I believe, and this has gone undiagnosed, but I believe on some level I suffer from a little bit of paranoia.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay it out there.
Yeah.
We'll just say that paranoia, and just to kind of come back to what I just said a second ago, a couple minutes ago about affirmations.
Yeah.
You know, that is evident. That's evidence of some sort of affirmation that needs to be reevaluated. You know what I mean? Because when it's all said and done, I mean, your solitary self, your essential self, you are who you count on,
right,
to make sure that you are up to speed. You're ready to do it. You're ready to step out there and do it. So the importance is still yet again to listen to that part of your consciousness
in everything.
Because there will be some times when on a psychological level, physical level, that you will react in a way that is that reaches all the way back to your childhood when you felt the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you'll have to realize that, recognize that, and just kind of work through it. And you're darn lucky,
right,
when you have people around that love you and make allowances.
Yes.
For when you
so count your blessings.
Lizard brain.
Yeah. Count your blessings,
because
that
is gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for my family, man. I can say that, man. And the friends and the family that I have in my corner, man. Like, there's a lot of times that in this new social media era that people get online and they believe that their value is reflective in how many likes they get or how many shares they get. And that's just the wrong way of looking at things, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people are caught up in that today, especially my generation.
It's unfair, almost, really.
Yeah.
It's wiring our children's brain in such a way that we expect that. We expect that instant gratification. Yeah. I mean, I was born in 1977, so I could say that I am that Generation X.
Yeah.
We were the experimental generation where we're like, let's see how much television can affect their lives.
Right.
And being that I am ADHD, I'm not sure what came first, the television or my ADHD, but the way that I react to that kind of instant gratification, definitely on some level trained me to expect it throughout life. So I can only imagine. I mean, if it's just a click away, heck, we had rotary station changing devices.
Totally,
you know what I mean? We had to get up
it's crazy,
to change
man.
the station.
How much it's changed
when
rapidly.
I was your age, we had to.
But now it's your pocket.
Control.
I mean, I remember going to computer class in school and thinking it was the coolest thing ever, just playing Minesweeper, and there was a game called Blockman that was literally the arrows that I was pushing this guy around that was picking up a little brick. And now I have in my pocket, carrying around with me the capability to watch 3D movies from my pocket,
You all who are listening, raise your hand if you've played Word Munchers or you had to learn DOS.
Yeah.
That's me. That's my generation.
I remember Word Munchers.
Yeah.
I was on Word
Represent
Munchers. Yeah.
Word Munchers.
Yeah, Connie here. Connie came in as English second language.
Nice.
She was born in the United States, but for the first couple of years of her life, she didn't speak English. She had to learn it through school, and her dad put her on all those math and English programs where you were kind of having to type it in to get the points and stuff. You know what I mean? Old school. Like, kids are not hip to that anymore.
Yeah.
We live in an era of YouTube that if you need to know how to tie a tie, you go and get on YouTube and you type in how to tie a tie, or it's totally different today.
How are we gonna learn or relearn how to embrace one another?
Yeah.
How are we gonna have to do that? Because there are so many chances to embrace one another now because we can access it through the internet.
Right.
How are we going to redefine what it means to come together and come close? That's a good question.
I think it's yet to be determined.
Yeah.
And I think it's people like, for instance, like your brother, that has just a huge following. For those that don't know, Marcus's brother is Shiesty Christ, aka Hendrick Floyd, bartender at West 6, phenomenal MC. He has got songs with Cunning Linguist, not to mention with Low Fidel. He's got an album called Cold Winter. I think that's his most recent album. Phenomenal artist. Does a lot for the community here and has always kind of been a part of the community since I got into hip hop here. He's one of the first names that I got to know. And anytime somebody tells me there's not really a hip hop scene here, the first name that comes out of my mouth is, you don't know Shiesty Christ.
Yeah.
You know, and just to see kind of the following he has online, but also is able to transfer that to a community aspect in the way that he talks, the way that he carries himself with other people. There's a beauty to that. And I think that we view it too much like a different life than a tool, which is really what it is. The internet is a tool.
Yes.
And if we're using it properly. And I think that what you were saying is it's much more accessible. All the community is able to advertise through the internet. You know, they're able to get it out there to hundreds of thousands of people.
Right. So maybe we should be doing the inverse of that. Whereas the internet is able to reach you anywhere you are. Maybe we need to be able to, you know, reach you know, each other from wherever we are. That idea of community needs to be in our minds wherever we go.
And it requires openness. Regretfully, I mean, we live in a time where everyone's afraid. I mean, fear is ruler now in this country. And people are afraid of touch. They're afraid to get to know someone because of maybe past hurts. People have been hurt so many times, they don't want to let somebody in from fear that the same thing is going to happen.
I agree.
And it's pivotal that we begin to love again, that we begin to let people and let our guard down. I mean, if we get hurt, there's a beauty in the hurt. You know, you learn through the hurt.
Well, you have to understand where your heart is. I mean, if it's never had to feel anything, or you don't really, you have a superficial understanding of where your heart is, and what it is to be human. Back to the humanistic.
Yeah.
You know,
So, I mean, my next question was going to ask you, you know, what do you think about the changes that Lexington is having as a city? I want to rephrase the question, man. What do you think Lexington is missing right now? What do you think Lexington needs here in our city, that if you personally, not on a deeper level, but if you thought that Lexington is missing one thing, what is it that you would change about Lexington to maybe, let's just put it frankly, to make it a better city?
This is a college town. On paper, it says that everyone is welcome. Inclusivity is definitely something that's pushed, because that's what brings in students. Yeah. Right. That's what brings in money. But what if we had a better way to reflect how all inclusive Lexington, Kentucky can be?
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? What if it were not driven by the numbers?
Yeah.
Right. What if it were driven by something else? What that is, I don't know. I mean, because you know we're building here. Yeah. But that maybe that's a good question. You know what I mean? Maybe you know, Lexington, you know, fairness. We've got lots of things that are here in place. Right. And to say that it's that it's missing, that would be disingenuous, right? So we are making efforts. We are definitely moving forward. So like, what would be our next step, or at least what would be the next big question, you know, for that effort? I would say, how do you make people feel included?
Yeah, man, and I think there's definitely people out there that are working on that. I mean, it's crazy that I played some of DeBron's music there at the front. You know, that was Russell Allen, Real the Poet, and then the guitar that was playing there was DeBron Thomas.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if you're familiar with
all
him.
very good friends.
Yeah, so he's you know, he's got that movement of Take Back Cheapside, and all that's about is inclusiveness,
which is
know?
huge, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I would go ahead. You know, shout out to DeBron Thomas for you know his efforts in that.
Yeah,
taking
definitely.
back Cheapside.
I mean, I got a
man, 'cause I think
T-shirt up in
it's
my
huge.
closet right
Proud
now.
of you.
I mean, I rock that proudly. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful because when I wear that shirt out, people ask me like, "What is this about?" You know, and it's not like it's something crazy. You know, it's a very simple three steps. That's all they're asking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it scares me that there's a level of people that could disagree.
Well, if
with
they
that.
can't demonize it,
Yeah.
if they can't figure out a way to demonize it, they ignore it.
Yeah, man.
So those are the two ultimate ways to just, you know, circumvent any level of,
Dare you say responsibility?
well, responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll say that.
Yeah, because a lot of people that can make the change choose to ignore it. And I believe that in Lexington, that the second that we care about one another, that we begin to let one another in and hear someone else's opinion rather than just wait for them to stop talking so that we can give our opinion to them, we'll see a much more inclusive environment. And I think that movements like Take Back Cheapside are what makes this city so beautiful, because I've seen those guys out there standing firm on what they believe in, you know, and it's inspiring. It's really inspiring.
Heard of a song written by David Gray, "Birds Without Wings"?
I have not.
It's a
I'll
great
have to check
song.
it out.
Yeah, he's got this one, line in there that's, there's so many people who feel that to share is to lose.
Yeah.
You know, a hollow people bound by a lack of pretty much no giving back.
Yeah, because to share is to lose.
Lack
And
of imagination
we
and
are
no giving back.
Sadly, we are taught that. We are taught that to give is to lose. And when in all reality, I'm a firm believer that we have what we have to give, and that
Absolutely.
the rich are only rich because they have to give. You know, the definition of it is you have more than what you need. You know,
or maybe they found a way to take legally.
Yeah, yeah.
Within legal, yeah.
Yeah, we've made a full circle because we started talking about commercialism and talking about capitalism and how it works, man. And I'm a firm believer that this country needs a change, and that we're built on a system that is broken, and that in order to change cities like Lexington, that hubs here are going to be kind of the leaders of that change. And I think that people that are here are going to lead changes, big changes. And that's why DeBron is so inspiring to me, and that whole movement is inspiring to me.
His posture.
Yeah. Boldness.
Unyielding.
Yeah, man.
And unmoving posture.
But not only that,
against
but
something that represents so much to so many people.
Yeah.
It means so little to so few.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like when it's brought to them, they have a decision to either support that few that want it.
Right.
Or support the mass a number of
who
people
just don't want to hear about
who
it.
don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's just that sheep mentality.
Yeah, man. We're getting deep here, Marcus.
Yeah.
I like you, man. We got to hang out again.
Thanks, man.
I'm glad to have you here, man.
Likewise.
It's been a great conversation.
Thank
man.
you.
This is a good Saturday in my eyes, man. So let's get on to our next question, man.
Cool.
We're about to wrap up here. We're almost to the end. Believe it or not, we've been going for damn near an hour now.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, we're getting
Edit
it,
where
man.
you feel comfortable.
Yeah, man. So
all the uhs and uhs, and
right.
you can do that for me. I'd appreciate it.
Let me ask you, man. But we've been talking about music a little bit. We were talking about DeBron and Russell and whatnot.
Sure.
What's your favorite venue here in town to hit live music, man?
Well, I've been here on and off for a total of about, I'd say, 15 years. Lived most of my adult life here.
You've seen a lot of venues come and go.
I've seen a lot of venues come and go.
Yeah.
But the one that still seems to remain, is still, Cosmics is still going.
Yeah, man.
Owls is still very much
has
become kind of like that center for the hip hop community. And I mean that's not discount Sammy's
right.
Down at the album on
definitely.
Thursdays. That's a great it's a great spot to
and that talk about community. That's community. I mean, Sammy's on that last Thursday. For those that don't know, the last Thursday, or is it the first Thursday? It's one of the two. You have to third Thursday. Connie's got it. Third Thursday of every
MC,
month.
You know that alliteration, man. You can remember that.
Just Me has been hosting it now for going on 3 years. And it's just an awesome venue. Sammy has been holding it for them and just taking care of the community, man. And if you want to get around some people and feel some love, man, that's the place to go, man. And it's called The Foundation. And you were talking about Cosmic Charlie's, man. I actually just got to go see Odyssey perform at Cosmic Charlie's.
Oh, man.
Phenomenal
All
show.
around the globe. I wish that I could have
live
been there,
band.
man.
He killed it, dude.
DC made me.
Oh, he killed it, dude. And that was my first time there.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to the new venue, and thank God they've got a new bathroom, because that last bathroom at the last Cosmic
was awful.
a little tight.
Well,
It was a little tight,
but
it's a local venue.
You're walking there with your house shoes on,
exactly.
They'll be wet.
And then you said Owls, man. Owls has been a mecca for hip hop, man. When other venues said no, Owls said yes, and it's beautiful to go down there. They've had some great shows. One of my favorite MCs in town is Fred C. First time I ever got to see him perform was there at Owls, and they just really accommodate a lot of different people. Greg Capillo has thrown a lot of shows there, and it's just cool that they're all inclusive. You know what I mean? And I love it there.
Let's not forget his posture against unfairness and
he's a guy that I'm definitely gonna have on the show.
Greg,
man. I admire Greg so much, man. That man, you want to get some knowledge. He's the one to talk to, man. So
I agree.
Okay, so I'll ask you. Let's get to the last question, man. What's your favorite local band or MC? Either one. You can give me either one.
Local band or MC
right now. Yeah.
Late at night, I'm in the kitchen, brewing up,
whipping up some Jun Bug.
Whipping up some Jun Bug. And I hear Attempt, that band Attempt, man, and forgive me if I got the name wrong, but I am quite sure that it's this band, man, that kind of reminds me of a mixture of Steely Dan and
Steely Dan.
It's like a hard Steely Dan. Yeah. They're local, man. I've only heard maybe 2 or 3 tunes from them, man, but I've been really
typing them down because I'm gonna have to check them
I think
out.
it's pretty
so
awesome.
Local band Attempt.
I like it. Yeah. I like their sound. Obviously, my long history with MCs affiliated with we call the Mad Militia, or folks.
They're
folks.
Deep.
That's very, very deep, deep folks.
It's funny. I've got Lee the G is going to be on
Lee
the
G.
show. Yeah, he's going to be on
Greenie.
the show in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to.
He's
have
one of my
him
favorite
on.
MCs too.
Oh yeah,
locally,
he's excellent, man.
I think he's dope.
The Iron Mike Sharp albums are some of my favorite.
The
albums
first
to
one
come
was
out
my
of this year.
favorite.
Yeah,
actually, but I've yet to hear the second one. So
okay, yeah, I've got a copy. Man.
I live in a bubble.
Oh man, I'm telling you, those albums, man. I'm telling you, this is no exaggeration. They are both collectively. I kind of put them together. Iron Mike Sharp is a collective. They have my favorite project that's came out of Lexington.
The way he opens up a piece. I have an appreciation for how someone starts.
Dude, it's
tune.
just so crazy,
you know what I mean?
Man, because you listen to his music, and this is not a shot at Lee at all, but you hear him, and he's 8 foot tall. You know what I mean? He's a big dude when you hear him on a track, and then when you meet him, you're like, that came out of you, man. Like, he's a phenomenal MC.
Yeah,
man.
he'll tell you when his favorite MC is Redman.
Oh yeah,
and I can just hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear it, and he didn't even have to say that. You know what I mean?
Man.
But like. Shout out to Lee G
in Vegas,
Greenie,
Posada, man.
In Vegas. You know what I mean? Me and Vegas go way.
Loyal
we go
Mad
quite a
Militia,
ways
man.
back to Louisville actually.
Yeah.
And he and I met then. And I had no idea. We had no idea. Of our connections. Here.
Right. I have to give a special shout out to Taj Ricketts too, man. That's a good friend of mine. He goes by Obvious. He produced those full albums, man. So
wow.
great. And EF
Dope.
Cutting on the cuts, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, great DJ, man. You know, very blessed to have that talent here in town.
Absolutely, yeah. So shout out, to Matt Militia, Shiesty Christ.
Yeah, definitely.
Love y'all. Peace
Yeah.
and blessings.
So yeah, man, for sure. So let's get into this rapid fire round, man. I'm gonna hit you with these real quick. Now the first two you may have to think about it a little bit, but on the last like 8 or 9, man, you gotta hit me first thing that comes to mind, okay, man?
Oh.
All right, so let's go ahead and enter rapid fire round. This first question is gonna be, what's your favorite TV show, man?
My favorite TV show is Good Times, hands down, baby.
Yes, sir. He
Good
said he was born in
Times.
'77, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that makes sense, man. Good Times is beautiful.
Good Times,
One of the
man.
greatest theme songs of all time, by the way.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Favorite food has got to be sushi.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Where you go? What's your spot?
Where I go?
Yeah.
It used to be Sagano, but now
Okay.
Sagano is now closed.
Yeah.
It is. You're gonna think this is funny, but balling on a budget.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to?
Are you telling me Bang Bang?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't say
It's
Bang
off
Bang.
of Nicholasville Road, right next door to Willis Music. Shout out to Willis. They've supported me in my musical endeavors for.
I don't think I've ever
quite a
been
while.
over there.
Man, you get you during lunchtime, $15, all you can eat sushi.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I
We're gonna have to
cannot
check that
remember.
out.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
We'll
find it.
Look it up. What'd you say? Is by Jimmy John? Is it by Jimmy? No. Sushi.
We're trying to work it out here, guys.
Oh man, does it even have the word sushi in it? Happy sushi.
Happy Sushi, is that it?
I think it is Happy
Yeah.
Sushi.
Okay.
Yeah, not too
So-
long ago. Yeah.
And
during dinner,
key here
$18.
is ask an Asian when you need to know about sushi. Just she's got it down pat over there. All right,
Right
man.
on.
Next question: Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh man, Star Trek, because my mom's a big Trekkie.
Yeah, my dad's a Trekkie.
So
Yeah.
last Christmas I gave my mom a Uhura, not magnet, but a Christmas tree ornament.
Right.
So
Super
that just goes goes deep.
I'm
man.
a Trekkie too, man.
Yeah,
Trekkie right
So
here.
in my heart,
Yeah.
I love Star Wars and everything. And I remember when I first saw Empire Strikes Back as a kid.
Monumental.
It was monumental
Yeah.
because it was huge.
Yeah.
And Showcase Cinemas was open in Louisville at the time, and that place was huge to me.
Yeah.
All white, the walls were white, and then
Yeah,
you
man.
sit down, and then you see the Imperial Guardsmen, like
Yeah,
they're
man.
all white and black, like these
Right.
these. It just informed my awareness of color and what big and
Those movies do a really good job of that.
Yeah, man.
Larger than life. Man.
Shout out to George Lucas.
So next question: Jay-Z or Nas?
Whew, that's a man. This is supposed to be rapid fire, man. So I don't want to. Man, that's hard. Why did you ask me that? I mean, because honestly, I really want to say Nas, man.
Yeah.
I really want to say Nas. Because Nas was the nasty Nas,
Oh, yeah,
and before, I feel like before Jay-Z was saying some really vulnerable, lyrics, Nas was.
Oh yeah, way before.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate above all in an
Yeah,
artist,
man.
man, is that you're raw, vulnerable, and you're telling your story, even though it was hard.
Yeah.
Even in regards to that, I can't see tears coming out of my eyes, so I gotta make this song cry.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's Jay-Z, by the way.
Yeah.
I think of that, but like this new album 444, which I'm really excited to grab because I'm hearing
Check
that it's
it
a
out.
grown-up album.
Yeah, I finally got to play it yesterday. It's vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerable is the word. He definitely shares a lot about his family.
I'm excited.
It's definitely good to hear. I mean, he's got a voice, man,
Mm-hmm.
and he's finally kind of accepting his role in the culture fully.
Sure.
That instead of just coming on a track and because at Jay's stature he could say whatever he wants to and sell, but he took a stance of giving knowledge, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that video for the story of OJ.
He's been running about.
Oh
running
my
away from that
gosh.
for a
yeah,
really long
man,
time.
But he's embraced it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the video, man, I highly suggest checking out the story of OJ.
Mm-hmm.
He basically took the imagery that had been used against the
demonize.
African American culture and then turned it on its head.
I can't wait.
Oh
man,
man,
I
That's
can't.
so
So
dope.
that said,
Yeah.
Nas, yes,
Right.
but Jay-Z right now,
Yeah. Both phenomenal artists.
yes, but right now I'm in my Jay-Z
Yeah.
zone.
It is Jay
right now.
season right now.
You know, it's Jay
is
season,
season. Yeah, for
and
sure.
you know, I'm ready to check out his books.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean. I'm ready to get.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me know when
the
you listen to it, man. Hit me up and let me know. I think you're gonna enjoy it, man.
All right.
Retail or online shopping?
Online shopping.
Yeah. It's cheaper, isn't it?
Well, not only that, it's that we practically work from home. If you want to really,
man.
you know,
get it shipped.
I mean,
right to
we
your doorstep.
correspond, you know, through the large number of our clientele.
Yeah.
Through internet.
Definitely.
So
That's what
it
you
is
do.
definitely it's a tool, right?
Yeah,
it is
for
a
sure.
tool, and that is probably because it is cheaper and
Yeah.
because it's just it's
convenience.
streamlined.
Yeah, man.
It's convenient.
80s or 90s?
80s, bro.
Oh yeah, that's an easy one, isn't
Yeah.
it? Did you like Stranger Things?
Say it again.
Stranger Things. Did you watch that? Have you seen that?
You know what? I've heard a lot
It's on
about
Net-
it.
You should check it out.
Okay.
Especially if you're an 80s guy.
We'll do.
Cassette or vinyl?
Man, that's hard. Both,
Yeah, I feel you,
but
I feel
vinyl
you.
right now because I have mostly vinyl.
Yeah, as long as it's dusty.
Yeah.
West or east?
Ooh, west or east? I have to say east.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, in terms of like, you know, and I figured that this was kind of like a big. That's a big question,
Yeah.
right? You know, so the
It's wide open.
philosophies,
Yeah.
the philosophies that came out of the East Coast hip hop, which
Yep.
you know, in its golden age. During the golden era, really informed a lot of the way I write, even from stream of consciousness to the music, the vocal music, to my awareness of jazz and how
Right.
that all kind of comes together. That came from East Coast
Oh yeah, man.
hip hop. So
that's my inspiration too, man. My
Yeah.
answer would have been east there as well. Pizza or tacos?
tacos.
Tacos all day.
You
son.
go fresher with tacos.
Oh yeah,
you know what
for
I mean.
Sure. And you feel better at the end of it too.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally.
Energy you can use, not
Yeah,
all that
man.
greasy stuff.
Yeah, man.
Nothing against
But yeah, we like your pizza.
We like pizza, man.
We rock with pizza.
Yeah, we rock with pizza.
All right. Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook, man.
Okay, yeah,
I
me
just
too.
don't. Man,
I'm
what?
too old to understand.
Get on out of here,
Twitter,
man.
Go
Tweet.
ahead. Yeah. Hot or cold?
Hot or cold?
Yep.
I like hot, man, because I like a good hot bath. Yes. And sometimes when I'm sweating outside, even though I'm hot, I don't like coming into cold air conditioning.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Give
I
me
feel that.
air conditioning.
Yeah, yeah. Tea or coffee?
Ooh,
Trick question.
That is a trick question
Yeah,
because
what-
my greater self wants to say tea.
Yeah. Right?
But myself, my real, when it gets down to it and I wake up too late,
Yeah.
I'm making me some coffee real
Yeah,
fast
for sure,
and get in
man.
the
I
shower
feel
and
that.
get out.
I feel that, man. I'm a
So-
both on that one.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd
a
say both too.
I
Okay,
have tea every night
I can
and
say
have
both.
coffee every morning.
I can say
You
both.
Say both.
Both.
That's the last question, man. You can say whatever you want.
Both.
To. Both. All right.
With an
man.
F. Both.
So I'm gonna give you an opportunity, Marcus. Man, we're wrapping up here, brother. I'm gonna give you an opportunity just to kind of plug Jun Bug.
Oh,
Let
man.
everybody know where they can find your product, man, and,
Okay.
and what they need to do to get a bottle in their hands.
Okay. Jun Bug Probiotic Honey Soda. It's organic white peony white tea, cold steeped in Climax Kentucky spring water and sweetened with a Midway Kentucky raw honey. It is an ancient Himalayan ferment that's similar to a kombucha, using an heirloom Jun culture, which is a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. These they form together a polymer sheet over this mixture, this fantastic mixture that after it's all done, once it's bottled, the reaction that causes this beautiful light carbonation. When you drink it, it's going to help replenish your intestinal flora and your GI tract. It's going to give you energy. It's going to make you feel good, and it's going to inspire you to keep going. Jun Bug Probiotic Honey Soda. It'll set you free. You can find Jun Bug Probiotic Honey Soda in Good Foods Co-op, Lucky's, and Whole Foods, Lexington at the Summit. Those are some of the bigger places, but get on Kentucky, spelled all the way out, JUNBUG.com, to check out all my other retailers. And if you want to find out a little bit more about what Jun can do for you and what Jun Bug is and our what we stand behind, please visit our website. Again, that is www.Kentucky, spelled all the way out, JUNBUG.com.
Yes, sir. He's got that down pat. Marcus, again, man, thank you. I want to give you an
Thank you,
opportunity,
man.
man. We're
Thanks
going
a
to
lot.
close out the show, man. I start the show out with music. I end the show out with music. Let's let you play your little jingle, man.
Okay.
Is that down?
Man, I'd love to do that.
All right, cool.
Right on. I brought
Go
my
ahead
guitar.
and get ready, man. I'm gonna go ahead and just thank everybody, guys. It's been a blessing that you tuned in today, man, to Dad is Dope podcast. We're kind of working all the kinks out of the system, man. I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to follow us, you can always follow us at Dad is Dope on all social media platforms. That means Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We are everywhere. You can easily find us again at Dad is Dope. Again, you can check out our website at www.dadisdope.com. It's so simple. Dad is Dope all across. With that being said, we're going to let Marcus cue us out of here. Are you good, Marcus? You ready, man?
I'm going to tune up a little
He's
bit.
tuning up. We're going to let him tune up.
Well, you wake up in the morning and you hit the blue rug. You're a mountain climber and you need a new chug. Looking up the mountain and it looks like a long, long climb. Well, I know a soda that the bees were buzzing. Kinda like kombucha, but it's distant cousin. Have you heard the new buzz? June bug, June bug, June bug, June bug time. Well, you're gonna have a party and your friends are drinking. Trying to stay awake so you can keep it thinking. Wanna find something to replace your beer and wine. With raw and local honey and Highland white tea. If you got a hankering, my friend, it might be. I'll say this politely. It's June bug, June bug, June bug, June bug time.
Yeah.
Available in original vanilla rose and lavender blackberry.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Have a beautiful time again. Marcus, thank you for being here, man. We'll have to talk again soon, all right, brother?
I hope so, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Signing off. Thanks, guys.
Peace.